Good evening, and welcome to the School of Music's 2020 Camerata Awards Gala. You may have noticed that life looks a little different this year. We had anticipated celebrating our 20th gala with you in David Gardner Hall. Although we're physically apart, we can come together in spirit and purpose to celebrate music and the remarkable people who share it with us. The School of Music has had a challenging but fulfilling year. I am amazed every day by the resilience of our students, faculty, and staff. Yes, rehearsals, classes, and concerts have looked very different than in earlier, simpler times. But through hard work and courage, we have invented new ways to collaborate and make music together. It is truly inspiring. I am deeply grateful to work in this supportive, creative community and for the many who make our continued success possible. Tonight, we celebrate those who collectively allow our community to flourish. Our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, donors, and our loyal audience. We are so pleased to have you with us tonight. Cut? Oh shoot, I'm late for my Zoom meeting. Kirstin, are you there?
Oh, Miguel, I didn't realize my camera was on.
I recognize that tune.
Of course you do. Stick around and you'll hear more a little later.
Ruth? Sorry, Kirstin, I have to take this. Could you introduce yourself and tell our guests about all the great things that are happening in the School of Music in the last 9 months?
Certainly I can. Hello, dear friends. I'm Kirstin Chávez, artist in residence in voice at the School of Music. It's my pleasure to be your guide through our celebration of music. Can you remember a time in our recent history when music felt so vital to the well-being of mind and soul? Music has the power to soothe, inspire, and lift our spirits. It gives us a way to channel our uncertainty and unites us in shared humanity. At this extraordinary moment, it seems more critical than ever. The outbreak of the pandemic shut down business as usual for us all. Last March, the U classes moved entirely online after spring break. Much of what we do as musicians didn't easily translate into a virtual world. Our students lost lessons, rehearsals, and concerts. They missed out on the chance to present their work of their spring semester, and for some, their entire year. You can imagine how heartbreaking that was for us all. But after a summer of research and experimentation, our determined and talented faculty uncovered unique ways to return to studying and making music together. Our dedicated students came back to campus despite obstacles and restrictions and demonstrated a heartening willingness to do whatever it took to continue their studies. We can't wait to show you how it all came together and to celebrate the passion, courage, and powerful music that comes from these indomitable hearts. So sit back, get comfortable, and make sure your headphones or speakers are turned up. We begin with Rachmaninoff's Étude Tableau, Opus 39, number 3 in F-sharp minor. This piece conjures a rich, colorful tableau or painting of imagery and color, performed by graduate student in piano performance Richard Chang. How about that? Next, we have Green Sleeves, perhaps one of the most recognizable and beloved melodies. This song was allegedly used by King Henry VIII to seduce Anne Boleyn. Written as a dance, John Playford's Green Sleeves and Pudding Pies is performed by our early music ensemble. Members include students, professionals, and university musicians. This next song, That's a Plenty, was originally a ragtime piano piece. It's now a jazz standard that all types of instrumentalists play. The school's graduate brass quintet performs our rendition, led by Assistant Professor of Trumpet Peyton Shelton. Now imagine a warm and fragrant evening in the Palazzo of Beatrice d'Este, a beloved princess of the Italian Renaissance. Reynaldo Hahn's Le Bal de Beatrice d'Este, performed by the University of Utah Wind Ensemble under the direction of Jared Rawlings, perfectly sets this regal scene. Allison.
Hi, are you in Libby?
Yes, I'm listening to some beautiful music. It's very exciting. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm so glad that you're staying healthy during these crazy times.
Yes, you too.
So, Allison, we're featuring you and Emily in the Belle Nuit duet from the Tales of Hoffmann. I'm so excited for our audience to hear you guys sing that. Tell me a little bit about how you felt about that piece.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I absolutely love the opera itself
Yeah.
and Act 3, how it just opens up with this duet. It's just so delicate and gentle and beautiful. And
Yeah.
I personally love the duet. It's one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy to perform it.
It's a big popular piece, huh? Everybody loves it. It gets done on commercials, I think, all the time.
Literally.
So it's good you know that now, because you'll probably be asked to sing it many more times in your career. So
Hopefully.
tell me a little bit about what was challenging, given the fact that you and Emily and our wonderful pianist Jeffrey Price were in different places.
Yeah, so Jeffrey recorded an amazing accompaniment track for us to use. And that was, so helpful because that
Yeah.
really solidified the tempo. It solidified
Right.
the entire practicing routine. I think the only thing that was challenging throughout was singing together through FaceTime or Jitsi and that lag. But we figured it out. We sent each other individual videos of us singing and gave each other constructive feedback. And it was great. I mean, it worked out in the end. So it was really a fun experience overall.
That's a lot going on at one time. But hey, not only are you going to get a wonderful master's degree telling the world that you're a professional singer, but you're going to be like a professional music tech too, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Pandemic bonus.
Yeah,
I love that.
this entire collaboration with Emily and with your help was incredible. So I just loved it.
I'm so pleased, and I'm really proud of you, my students, who did such a beautiful thing even when things were difficult. That's how we get through, right? And these kinds of lessons are going to set you guys up for huge successes in the time to come. So
exactly.
Congratulations, darling Allison.
Thank
and please stay warm and stay healthy, okay?
Yes. Drink lots
and
of
I'll
water.
see you soon.
Thank
I'll see you on Zoom
Kirsten.
soon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Lily, and this is my flute mask. As you can see, there's a lot more fabric in these masks than in regular ones, but it still just sits over our nose and mouth like usual. We have a little slit here that we slip our head joints into so we can play. Getting used to these masks was challenging for a lot of us in flute choir. But despite the obstacles of having to wear a mask or switch rooms every 30 minutes and the disappointment of not being able to record all our pieces for this semester's concert, flute choir and ensembles have been really meaningful and important to me this semester especially. I remember that first rehearsal was just like a breath of fresh air because I didn't realize going those 5-6 months without being in an ensemble was really influencing the feelings of isolation, which I'm sure a lot of people also had to deal with. It makes me really grateful that we have staff and professors and people who have worked to come up with these safety measures so we can play safely with each other and enjoy music together. Overall, I've realized that music is really important, especially during difficult times, and it does a great job of bringing people together, and I'm really grateful for that.
Throughout this experimental semester, we had planned on recording Sleigh Ride. We even got accessories to match what we call our flute suits. I just wanted to give the hats a little more screen time because unfortunately we won't be able to use them this year since we had to cancel further recording, including Sleigh Ride. But we look forward to when we can, and hopefully you do too. The flute choir has been a great source of joy for me, from learning to play the bass flute to playing a glass bottle. I know that doesn't make sense. It's been a great pleasure and a pride to be a part of the University of Utah's Runnin' Flutes.
Cold and raw the north wind doth blow, bleak in the morning early. All the hills are covered with snow, and the winters now come fairly. These lines from a nursery rhyme traditionally kick off the Irish folk melody, Cold and Raw the North Wind Blows. Usually sung by children in winter, harpist Lacey Reynolds arranged our rendition for the Crimson Harps. To prepare to sing our next piece, Sorita, members of Voci Altissime met with renowned composer Rosafani Powell. In Zimbabwe's Shona language, Sorita is a greeting similar to Shalom in Hebrew. Voci Altissimi, a non-edition choir for treble voices, captures the heartwarming intent to welcome newcomers into a community.
With Sorita, which is part of a children's game in Zimbabwe, it's a greeting. So what the song is really saying, when you greet somebody in humanity, you're always greeting a brother and a sister. And that's not dependent upon race. That's dependent upon one being a human being. And as human beings, we all have the capacity to love. We have the capacity to forgive. We have the capacity to build up someone where they're weak and become strength for them. All of that, for me, is in Sorita. Love one another, which is part of the song, is about you deserve love from me because you exist.
Sarita obviously like is opening the door and like letting everyone in. Like we all have a place, like we all have a space to be loved.
I'm reminded in choir how unifying music is. And it's sometimes just like the most effective way to portray a message is through music.
So yeah, COVID sucks. But the one like benefit of that is that we can look back and be like, but we said something when it mattered.
One thing my teacher told us is when everybody's breathing is in rhythm, your hearts are all beating together. So when we're singing together and taking breaths at the same time, all of our hearts are beating at the same time.
Jordan, it's so good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, just surviving right now.
I get it, but it sounds to me like you're doing a lot better than just surviving. Please tell me a little bit about how you went about filming this piece.
So it all started in the recording studio. We recorded at the School of Music, just the audio. And then we were inspired by one of our faculty in the percussion studio, Danny Soulier, the timpani professor. He had done a photo shoot for Pearl up on top of that parking garage. So we went up on top of that parking garage, broke out like 4 cameras. And then we were just playing the audio in the background, playing along with it. And on our second day of filming, we broke out the drones and got some high angles.
That is so special. And the amazing thing about that is that it gives us the kind of experience that we never could have had we been doing this live performance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to provide a form of media that we just couldn't simulate in person.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit, though, about the added street sounds, which gave a whole new element.
Yeah, so after we recorded it, we got some feedback, from Dr. Michael Sammons, the percussion area head, and we were all the 3 members of the trio as well. We're kind of thinking, we need something to complete the ambiance, complete the setting. So I actually went out behind the School of Music one day and set up 2 microphones and just started recording a city street corner for like 20 minutes. And we just mixed that into our video, and we felt like it really helped complete the soundscape that we were going for.
Oh, Jordan, I have to say it really did. And it added a whole 3D kind of element to the piece, which I loved. Tell me a little bit about the piece itself. What inspired you to take this piece on?
So the piece Ohm's Trio by Andrea Venet, the composer's really famous. You know, she's a phenomenal performer, phenomenal composer, the percussion area head down at University of Central Florida. And I had always been pretty familiar with her work. I watch a lot of her playing. But ultimately it came from us wanting to do a multi-percussion chamber piece, a trio of some sort. And we came across this. We noticed she had a MIDI recording on her YouTube page. And there were a couple video recordings. They weren't great. So ultimately we took on this piece to try and put out the recording per se.
I love it. And I, for one, am extremely proud of you guys for taking it the next level up. Because I think that's what we need to be doing. We need to be expanding and not be limited by just live performance, but have other possibilities that run alongside. So congratulations to you, Jordan, and please give our great thanks to your fellow compatriots who did such a magnificent job with this piece.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan. Take care and stay safe.
And you as well.
Thank you. Candido, thank you so much for this wonderful contribution to our gala performance. What a pleasure. And you chose a piece that is appropriate for the season. Thank you very much. What made you choose this piece?
Well, so the the piece was chosen by Dr. John Petroselli. So,
okay.
So this is a big band arrangement that he had chosen for the big band, the University of Utah big band, and yeah. So this was just a piece that he sent out to us, and me alongside my friend Chris Petty were the graduate students for the jazz department. So we just put this piece together. And everybody just recorded from home, and
wow.
it ended up sounding really good, and we were really happy with the outcome.
Yeah. What else do you think we're going to take out of this pandemic time, Candido, in terms of what we've been forced to learn and turn into something good? What do you think we're going to take out of this?
Well, and I was talking, me and my professor, or Dr. Petroselli, were talking about this in our lesson a few days ago, and we were talking about how I think the good outcome out of this is that we have so much recorded material. I had to transcribe a handful of solos this semester, but normally, pre-COVID, I wasn't recording them on my own. I just showed it to my jury in my undergrad, and and that was it. But it's like now, it's like one of the things that was asked of us was to record our juries, our etudes, just the assignments, and then upload them to UBox. And
wow.
But you don't really think about it in the moment. You think you're just submitting an assignment, but in reality, it's like you have this material that that is, say if you're an undergrad wanting to do a master's program and somebody's asking for material that you played, or doctor going to PhD and they're asking for just asking for the material. I think that's the really good outcome from all this, is that we have all this recorded material now, and you see it from artists all over. You don't see it just from
everybody.
It's everyone, every musician, every artist.
Well, Candido, thank you so much. We're so grateful that you guys made this contribution to our wonderful gala. Bless you. Happy holidays to you, and stay safe.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, dear.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm getting a master's in piano performance, and I study with Vedran Subotic. That's about what practicing looks like these days. A lot of sanitizing, wearing masks, all that stuff. I'm just glad I can still practice here at the School of Music because I don't have a piano at home. Thanks.
I told you, our students are incredible. It takes more than a pandemic to stop artists from creating and expressing beauty. And where would I and my fellow musicians be without enthusiastic audiences and loyal supporters? For 19 years, the Camerata Awards Gala has recognized extraordinary people who made music possible in the Salt Lake Valley. Tonight, we will add an inspirational couple, Roger and Colleen Thompson, to the ranks of our past 38 distinguished honorees. As School of Music board members over the past decade, the Thompsons generously invested in scholarships, travel awards, and instruments for students. As valued community members, they supported performing arts organizations, aspiring musicians, and neighborhood concerts. This summer, Roger and Colleen Thompson were recognized at a small, socially distanced private event, and Colleen passed away peacefully at home several weeks later. I can think of no worthier recipients of our 2020 Camerata Award than this wonderful couple. I know you'll agree after seeing this tribute.
I'm Roger Thompson. My wife is Colleen Thompson. So music was part of our life, and Colleen was very much interested in seeing that her children were musical.
I'm Jennifer Thompson Corbett. I'm the third child in a family of 7. When my mother was in high school, she enjoyed music and she was a go-getter. I think she always wished she'd been pushed a little bit. And so the marriage of my parents with my dad loving music, the combination of them, she decided I'm going to have a big family and they are going to be able to play music.
Music was soothing to her. In her illness, it was helpful to her. She would lie down on the couch here in our living room, and we had Alexa that was there right by her, and we'd have Alexa play all kinds of music. She passed away in August of this year. I think music has an influence in our lives in that, on the one hand, you have to know your timing, you have to be somewhat mathematical. On the other hand, you have to have an expression, an artistic expression. And so I think it's helped us all. All of the grandkids are doing music as well.
Why was music important to our childhood? Well, it was just kind of everywhere. It was just like what included everyone in the family. It was just...
I think it brought everyone together.
Yeah. Music has a way of doing that, bringing people together.
It's like probably less about the music and more about like the memories that like we created.
Hoping too hard, but I've come this far and it's more than I hoped for. Who knows how much further we'll go on.
It's not about being the best, it's just enjoying it.
Yeah, and sharing it with others.
The School of Music is a great institution. They have great professors, great faculty, and really good students. And to the extent that Colleen was excited to help, and particularly helping with scholarships and helping the kids that maybe couldn't afford to major in music to do that, we'd like that.
I think one of the things we will miss the most about our mom is her love of music and development of talents. Is just we kind of lost our little cheerleader, even though we feel her still. And we know she's with us.
Well, she was a force. She, particularly at this time of the year, I was just writing cards to our kids, and this time of year was special for her. She would always insist that we had a nativity scene, and the kids would dress up. They'd also have to perform. That was important, that they would have to perform some musical number. That was her desire. So Christmas is special for her. And of course, music is wonderful for the soul. It's been a part of our lives, not necessarily on a really high professional level, but it's been really a part of our family.
Thank you, Roger and Colleen, for caring so deeply about our students and so many others. We know our next generation of musicians, music educators, and composers are worth the investment. But don't take my word for it. Let me introduce you to one of our brilliant students, cellist Benji Drysdale.
My name is Benjamin Drysdale. I'm a junior in the School of Music. I'm studying cello performance. My parents were really great in taking us to concerts when I was little. I was super little, like probably 4 or 4.5. My parents had let me draw on the programs. I drew a cello and I showed it to my mom and I was like, this is what I want to play. I ended up at the School of Music because of the Utah Phil and the draw that had to me, because I had brothers that I watched playing it for years and years. As my career goes, I'd really like to teach some, and I'd also like to continue performing.
This is where the CDC guidelines really start to kick in. Just on my way to my lesson.
I've had really great mentors here.
Hey, John.
Benji, welcome.
Something that I've found is a really great network of teachers around the world that are connected to our faculty here. Some of the bright moments of this semester also are really comical, because lots of them come out of mistakes, like when we were supposed to have our concert under the tent and then the sprinklers turned on and we ended up having a concert in front of Kingsbury. Really the greatest bright spot, which I think is a really big accomplishment for the Utah Phil, was playing Schubert's Death and the Maiden. It's such a complicated piece. Being able to play that in a semi-live format was incredible, because it was 45 minutes of straight playing. Maybe I could have Dr. Baldwin say more about why he chose it and what made this piece significant for this year.
Hi, Dr. Baldwin, so good to see you. It's been a really crazy semester.
Well, hey, Benji, it's so good to see you. And yeah, boy, what a year, huh? I mean, when you look back at when we last met as a full orchestra, that was in March 5th. We played Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade, which is a piece for full orchestra, full winds, a large percussion section. And within a week, we had been shut down. The university had gone to a completely different model. And we didn't know. We went into the summer not knowing what to expect. We had no idea how we would get back together, what our ensembles would look like. And that was actually kind of a signal to all of us that it was just time to get to work and figure out a solution for it, which if you look at the School of Music, you see lots of different solutions. The choir had one solution, the band had a different solution, jazz band did something different, and the orchestra became a string-only group for this year. But we were able to find great pieces of music. For instance, the Tchaikovsky Serenade for Strings that we started our semester off with, right? And some other new music that we played. But the Schubert, for me, was a choice to kind of tie together what you guys as string players do as chamber musicians, these great chamber works, and also expand out into the string repertoire a little bit. And I also saw the piece as an example of transformation, which is what we were doing all semester with all of the things that we did with your instruction, right? From private study all the way through chamber music and large ensembles. So everything was a transformation. The piece itself, as you mentioned, it's a really powerful piece of music to perform and listen to. It was a piece of music by Schubert that was a transformation of one of his own songs. He took a song, a very short song that he wrote about, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes long. That's all it was. And he expanded it into what would become his 14th string quartet, which kept the same title, Death and the Maiden. That was the title of the song. And that would be fine if it had stopped there. But about 70 years later, the great symphonist, Gustav Mahler, was so taken with the piece that he decided to transform it one more time into a piece for full strings and to use all of the kind of techniques from the late 19th century to make it into something completely different. It's, I think, a real testament to how a piece of music has legs, how things can transform, just as we as a school of music were able to transform and find new ways to keep doing what we do, which is do music and play music. So for me, it was the perfect choice, right? It was a piece of music that was challenging for you guys, that was satisfying for an audience to listen to, and also represented all of the things that we were trying to do, from the teaching of a quarter note all the way down to the big picture types of creative things. And, in the end, Benji, it's the imagination and the use of the creative energy is what a degree in music is all about anyways. It's learning to use your thoughts in that particular way to come through and come up with solutions and ideas. And I was really pleased with this. As you remember, and as we are going to hear, this fantastic performance of the end, the last movement of the Death and the Maiden by Schubert, arranged by Mahler, and you'll hear and you'll remember that energy that the orchestra was putting into it all the way to the end. And in the coda of this piece is one of the most passionate performances I can remember from the Utah Phil.
That's great. Let's hear it. The creative process in music really grounds me personally because it helps me feel like I have an outlet. At the beginning of all this COVID madness, thanks to the efforts of the School of Music here at the University of Utah, we were able to rehearse in ways that were safe. Even though you may be separated by 6 feet and wearing masks, it was still really great to have that feeling of unity, even though everything's different. What I would say to my peers is, I'm glad you're here, I'm glad I'm here, and this is going to make a difference for someone. This year will really bring out the things that we took for granted. Music is different when you're together. Playing as a soloist versus playing in a group, that feeling of making something new together is irreplaceable.
I hope we've convinced you that artists are indispensable. They add meaning and richness to our lives. They allow us to persevere and ultimately triumph. But artists don't create in a vacuum. We rely on you. Each of us plays a critical and unique part in nourishing this vibrant ecosystem. So if you feel inspired tonight, please make a contribution before you leave. 100% of your gift goes directly to current and future music students. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us continue our vital mission. To give securely, click on the red Give Now button below. And now, we'll close with a final beloved selection, which expresses our heartfelt appreciation.
Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love.
Oh, it's Ruth. Oh, that's bad, I guess. It's Ruth.
Going in the vault.